the most common question I get is, how do I develop my own artistic style? How do I create something that's from me? How do I create my own art rather than just copying and learning and being a student forever? It seems as though there's this place, this gap where artists are creating and then they fall into a pit of always being a student. It's like, of course, yeah, you're going to continue learning. You're going to continue advancing your skills as you keep going out within this journey. That's not to be debated. You're forever going to be learning. But there's a certain point where you have to take the things you've learned and start to communicate your own ideas, your own message, your own voice needs to come forward. And sometimes that's a stylistic thing. Sometimes it's a subject matter thing. Sometimes it's a combination of both or a combination of many things. Now, how do you do this? How do you go from being somebody who just has been learning, right? They've been practicing, drawing, painting, doing all of it for a really long time, but they seem to be in a rut of just creating images that are just copying, photos of people that they like, celebrities, things that will go viral. You got to kind of get stuck into the Instagram trend world rather than the own artistic authenticity, right? Your authenticity is the most important thing as an artist. So first off, you have to realize that what you're doing when you're learning is that you're creating and understanding a visual language, right? So you have a painting here behind me. It's a landscape. And in it, there's a rock, there's a reflection, there's rocks underwater, there's tree branches, there's leaves, right? The reason that we can identify what's inside this image over here is because I've used a visual language that represents what we see in reality. And that has to do with the understanding of value, color, saturation, right? And hue, as well as, shape and form and angle and line and drawing and a couple of other things too. Now, you've probably been learning these things for a while. You've probably been trying to understand the visual language, just like I'm speaking to you now. I say this a lot in my podcasts. As I'm speaking to you now, I'm using the English language. Well, there's a visual language as well, which is rock, right? Which is this color, this beige color, this orange color, this blue color, this green color up here, which creates the idea, the illusion of leaves, of tree branches, of a reflection of water, right? And that's just representationally. Then there's, you go into narrative, you go into abstraction, you go into storytelling with your art, and it becomes even more complex because this is merely just, in a way, a beautiful landscape. It's just an image of a landscape. It's a representational thing. And sure, you can read a more narrative-based thing within it. Like you can get inspiration from it. You can get a deeper meaning from being in a scene like this. But the main thing here is that I've understood visual language and now I'm speaking with it and creating a description of a scene through that visual language. Just like I could, without an image, without a painting, I could describe to you, reflective, shallow water with rocks being seen below, with a giant rock in the front, about a third of the way up, third of the way over from the right. I can describe the painting to you in words because that's a language. I'm describing to you a scene and you can imagine it as I say it to you. Well, if you look at the painting, it tells all of that for you with the visual representation language, right? So now imagine you're at this point, right? You're at this point where you've learned how to draw, how to paint. You can represent the world in a decent way, at least in a way that is passing. Of course, you're always going to be wanting to learn and advance your skills. I'm still advancing my skills. I couldn't paint this 5 years ago and maybe even 10 years ago. Well, yeah, maybe. We'll see. It's to be debated, but I wouldn't paint it the way that it is because I've advanced in some way and I've changed my style. So if you learn the visual language, the next step then, the automatic next step, and this goes to episode 23 where I talked about mapping your 23 or 24, mapping your artistic identity. Go back and watch that one, right? I'll put it here on YouTube. I'll link it wherever I can, but go back and watch the episode that's called Mapping Your Artistic Identity. Now, the most common question I get as an artist, as the art coach, is how do I develop my own style and create my own art that isn't just replicating what I see? I want to have a message. How do I find out what I want to say? Well, one part of it has to do with connecting to your creative intuition. Now, creative intuition is the thing that drives your decision making inside. It's something that you can't quite grasp. It's not like your rational ego mind. It's not your inner monologue mind. It's the thing that like kind of sparks up when you see something that's exciting, right? If you were in a gallery or even in a park and you see a beautiful tree across the way, or you're in a gallery and you see a beautiful painting down the hallway, right? And you know, there's paintings all around you, but there's one that catches your eye. That's your intuition. That's that little flicker of excitement. That's your intuition saying, go over there, go look at that, go see that, go create that. Okay, so when you go make a painting, there's going to be things that you've created in the past and things that you have ideas about now that feel exciting. There's a feeling in your body. It's a physiological experience inside your body. And that's your intuition firing up and saying, hey, bring some attention to this. Bring some attention to this. I want you to create me. I want you to make me. And that's the idea, right? The idea comes in, it floats over your head. It comes in from the quantum realm, wherever it comes from. And out of nowhere, in your mind, an idea appears of a painting, of an idea, of a drawing, of something, a poem, a song, whatever it is, whatever your medium is, okay? And so you grab that idea, and if it's been given to you, if it's shown up, if it's appeared and it feels exciting, it feels like, whoa, there's something there. You know that sense, and that sense is intuition. And so what I would want you to do is to really, really get connected to your creative intuition. So when you get creative ideas, right, an idea to create something, your intuition flags it. There's a little alarm that goes off. Yes, this is it. This is the thing. This is the one I want to make. Yes, go make that, right? You follow with it. You say yes to it and you actually act on it. You don't say, oh, well, give it some time. I don't have enough materials. I don't have the studio space. I don't have, my job is so hard. I have too many hours at work. I don't have time. I'm too tired when I get home. My kids, my this, my that. I don't have the paint supplies. Get some cardboard, get some charcoal, go have a bonfire and grab the chunks of burnt debris at the bottom and use that to draw with. Grab sand and glue. Grab dirt from your backyard. You don't need, right? I'm just going off on a tangent here. You don't need extreme supplies to make a beautiful artwork that resonates with who you are, especially if that's all you can do. So the making up excuses for yourself thing on this podcast here in this space is out of here. It's gone. I don't want to hear about it. I do want to hear about it, but I want to reframe it for you. And I want to position it in a place where you're the person who has the ability to find the diamond in the rough, to find the needle in the haystack, to separate the wheat from the chaff, to find the Goldilocks zone, right? There's all these metaphors and symbols for it. There's a way for you to find your creative intuition through the action of acting on your intuition, of acting on the ideas that come to you within a specific time frame. When it says, hey, make me, right? You're supposed to act on that. And when you deny that moment of intuition that tells you, hey, this is exciting, this is the thing you should make, what you're doing is you're programming yourself to ignore yourself over and over. And so if you do that for a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year, 10 years, 2 decades, 3 decades, you've done it your whole artistic career. Well, guess what? You're going to have a hell of a time trying to reconnect to it because you've programmed yourself to always find the ways it's going to go wrong. You've trained your mind to be pessimistic towards your creative intuition and your creative ideas. And if you're locked in this place of being stuck, of not knowing if it's a good idea or if there's a better idea around the corner, or if it won't go viral, it won't sell, it won't make you the money you need, right? All of these evidences, all these things that you find on the external experience of creating an idea and then going with it and jumping into the river with it, going all in for it, well, then you might need some help. Okay. And so I'm going to do a little segue here and tell you about a workshop I'm going to be running very, very soon. I haven't exactly decided on the date yet, but it's going to be about your creative intuition, reconnecting with it, rekindling it, and then creating your own artwork from it. I'm not going to tell you what to make. I'm going to provoke out of you the thing that I know you have inside of you, inside of your creative intuition, inside of your creative mind, inside of your creative spirit. I'm going to bring you exercises, bring you ideas, bring you coaching sessions, conversations like this that will exfoliate and bring out that creative side of you and give you the confidence to say yes to the ideas when they come up. Okay, so if you want to do that, in the link down below in the description, there's going to be a sign up so you can get notified when the dates are published and when the whole thing is set up. I've already put together a bunch of the information for the workshop. It's going to be transformative. I already know it. I already have some people who are reeling to sign up. So if you'd like to sign up, go to the description down below, and I'm going to let you can sign up your email, and I'll send you all the information as soon as it's ready to go. I don't have a specific date, like I said, because the holidays are coming up. I'm not sure if I should do it before or after. So it's going to be coming up soon. But okay, so now what I want to tell you again is how do we do it? Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of it right now. I'm going to kind of explain it to you. How do we connect more to our creative intuition? Well, there's a process of doing this, and that has to do with closing the gap between idea and action, right? So you have an idea, and your usual mode of operation, right, your modus operandi, MO, right, is to go idea and then have a huge gap and between your idea and your action. And inside that gap, you start to find evidence for why it will fail, for why it won't succeed, for why it won't sell, it won't go viral, it won't do this, it won't do that. You won't be able to do it. You're not skilled enough. You're too old. You're too young. You don't have the materials. You're too poor, this and that, right? All of those millions of excuses that you create, all those evidences that you just find out in the world because you've trained yourself to be a creative pessimist towards your creativity rather than a creative optimist and a realist towards the truth that you are an artist that has chosen themselves to make art when it's been given to them, to create the ideas that are shown to them in their mind. Okay. And so you close that gap, right? You get the idea and you act on it. You don't wait, you act on it. And maybe you're at the grocery store and you can't do it just yet. Well, you pick up your phone and you do a little voice memo, or you write down your idea. You have your sketchbook with you, and even in the store, right next to the freaking apples, you do a little sketch. Right there, you just stop. That's what being an artist is. It means that when the inspiration strikes, if you're a professional artist, when inspiration strikes, you act on it. You make the note. You say, I'm going to make this as soon as I get into my studio. Okay, that's the kind of action that you need to make sure that the idea does not move on to the next person, right? As a creative person, you are a conduit for the ideas that come through you so that you can bring them out into the real world. You can bring them out into the real world. You can express them out, right? I mean, art is literally the idea of expression. That's what art is. It's expression, right? Speech is expression. Yawning is an expression. Everything we do is expressive. So if you're an artist and you have an idea to express something, then you're a conduit for the thing that delivered you the idea. Now, if you're a spiritual person or a religious person, you could say it's God, you could say it's a muse, you could say it's a genius, depending on what frame of thinking you're in. This is the kind of thinking that all professional creatives come about. If you look at a Van Halen or a guitar solo, Jimi Hendrix, or any of these insane guitar soloists or guitarists, they always say that when they go into a solo, a jam, it's like they're tuning the radio station and everything just comes out. And so they're channeling, they're becoming a conduit for the idea that comes in. It's a metaphysical space where the idea comes into their mind. And through the language that they've learned to tune their body to, they're able to express out a sound with their instrument on the fly as it comes, just on without thinking about it. There's no thought, oh, what note should come next? No, it just comes out because they know what it should feel like. Well, that's what it should be like with your art. You should know exactly what it'll look like. And then you go through the process of manifesting it by moving color around and moving shapes around and moving whatever it needs, finding references, the whole process, the whole thing that you do to create visual art, right? And so that's what you do. So closing the gap, you have an idea and then you close the gap, you sandwich it down. And so there's no space for that crap to come in and say, oh, you can't do it. You're not good enough. That voice is not you. It's somebody else who told you that imprinted your idea, it imprinted it into your scaffolding of reality, into who you are now. That's not how we work, okay? That's not how you are. You are so much more than it, and all of it is locked inside of you. All the potential is already locked inside, right? The diamond is inside of you.